Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated, and today I'm going to answer the question, what would Nikolai Machiavelli and Friedrich Nietzsche do if they were stuck in a post-apocalyptic Australia? It's a question a lot of people have asked, and a lot of people are really interested in knowing the answer to. This is Broken Roads. It is a CRPG which has featured on a lot of videos of recent, of people talking about their most anticipated games of 2024. And it was through some of these videos that I discovered there was a demo for this, so I didn't actually know that. But I've had an eye on this game for a while. I'm very interested in the moral compass that the game has, and we're going to take a look at that now in a few moments. I'm going to start up a new game. So we're going to have a bit of an intro, and I'm going to let it play out because the narrator's voice is absolutely fantastic.
My nan called it the end of time. Dad called it a waste of good beer. Me, I called it another day in bloody paradise. It's been 100 years, more or less, since society had its last hurrah. We've rebuilt, sometimes better, sometimes worse, with nothing but hard yakka and the sweat off our backs. There's been bloodshed too, of course. People who will always be willing to kill for what they didn't earn. But that's not most of us. We're the farmers, the brewers, the protectors and the builders, the people who keep this great land connected, one town at a time. So you survive. You make do. You live with tough choices and you don't look back. Because the next town is 200 kilometers away, and mate, you passed the last refuge 3 days ago. There's no good or evil, no right or wrong, only the path you choose to travel down these broken roads.
He said the name of the game. He said the name of the game in the intro. Just to highlight something very quickly, because for a lot of people, this is going to be, there's Machiavelli, a Machiavelli quote. I've seen Aristotle quotes, I've seen Sartre was mentioned at one stage. But for a lot of people, this is going to be the kicker. You will decide that you do not want to buy this game. After this, we saw it there in the intro, there's a cat. You can't pet the cat. So that's obviously a massive negative. I love the vibe. I love the setting. I love the narrator. The narrator is fantastic. Obviously, it's giving Mad Max vibes. I have heard a lot of people say post-apocalyptic Australia. This is a setting we haven't seen in video games very often. Well, there's the Mad Max games, and of course, the Mad Max movies, and this setting is very familiar. And I think there's a rather interesting investigation to be done into why this setting is so familiar. I think it's because modern, pre-apocalyptic Australia is trying to kill you. Like, you see these memes about giant spiders, kangaroos that'll kick the living daylights out of you. It's already a dangerous place. You wouldn't be able to do post-apocalyptic Ireland. It wouldn't work. Whereas Australia, it's already this massive area, difficult to get around, it's going to cause you trouble. Right now, you can get into trouble trying to cross one end of the country to the other if you don't make preparations, never mind in the apocalypse. So it's a really interesting idea. I think it's one of the reasons why we keep coming back to this setting. Anyway, welcome to the Steam demo for Broken Roads. I'm not going to go through everything in detail, because what I predominantly want to do is focus on the morality. We have 4 classes that we can pick from. We can only pick hired gun in the demo, but it looks like we're going to have a kind of a mechanic slash possibly a medic, I'm not too sure. A jackaroo, Barther crew, so this is our trader, leadership, and a junk of all trades. For what I understand is it allows you to equip junk that you can throw at people. And then we have a surveyor, which looks like a scout, vigilance, and then the character that we can play as the hired gun. We get increased shooting mastery, and we'll see what all that means now in a moment. So we will continue on with the hired gun. At the moment, we have very limited options for deciding our appearance. We can just pretty much pick from one of the pre-made selections, and of course, I mentioned Mad Max. We'll have to call our character Mel Gibson. This is the main part of the game, the moral compass. And you can see that we have this circle broken up into 4 quadrants. We have humanism, utilitarianism, Machiavellianism, and nihilism. And as you make choices, this golden arc will change its position. So at the moment, we can see that this person has made choices which have divided them between being Machiavellian and utilitarian. And that gives them access to these weaker options in both categories. Now, if they were instead to become more narrow-minded and focus just on being Machiavellian, this part of the golden arc would decrease, and it would basically push out in this direction to bring in this skill or ability here. At the moment, it looks like there's 4. Now, on this image, there's only 3, but I think there's 4 distributed throughout each quadrant, and at the moment, only 1 of them is available in the demo. So we don't really get to see how this works just yet. Humanism, they have some kind of definitions. I think it might actually be on the next page. But there we go. Humanism, each person's dignity matters most. Utilitarian, everyone's happiness combined matters most. Machiavellian, my group matters the most. And nihilism, I matter the most. Interesting interpretations. So we will close this. And how the game starts is it's going to give you these options, and you will pick your answers. So there's the humanist, the nihilist option, the utilitarian option, and you can see at the moment the arc is divided between humanist and utilitarian, and if we go with the utilitarian option, it moves us in that direction, or if we go with the Machiavellian option, it will swing us way around to the other side. So what I'm going to do, because Machiavellian is generally this idea that the ends justify the means, and nihilism is that largely life is meaningless. It has no intrinsic meaning, God is dead, life has no meaning, there's no intrinsic meaning to it, and we need to build our own meaning. So the fact that this focuses on yourself personally, and this is on your group. Now what I want to do is I want to see kind of what the differences are, how they're represented between Machiavellian and nihilist. So we're going to go with a kind of a broad approach. We're asked these questions. We just picked up a job to escort a captured thief. You get to talking, and he tells you the sad tale of how he came to be captured. Sounds like he was not really the perp, and actually makes a pretty good case for his innocence. When I played this last night to kind of get an idea of it, I ended up as a utilitarian Machiavellian. I was 100% promise him that we'll plead his case, but today we're going to say, we've been paid to do a job, and we plan to see it through despite his appeal and potential innocence. Prioritize your reputation and ensure that you get paid. The other option would be to get him to make you an offer. You won't get the other half of your pay if you return to Brockton without him. And then there's the humanist option, which is to let him go, and the utilitarian, which is that you will plead his case. We will go with the nihilist interpretation. We are nihilist Lebowski. We believe in nothing. After a series of raids and caravans passing near your home, you put together a scouting party. You've caught a bandit leader and one of the raiders. The leader pleads for release, pledging to comply with your terms. So we can either execute them both on the spot, or tell him that you'll let one of them go free, him or his raider, and he gets to choose which one lives. That is a pretty grim decision. Now we can see, now that we've actually chosen an option, it's kind of giving us a bit of humanism and a bit of Machiavellian. I wasn't sure if you could cross 3 categories, but it does look like you could. I wonder if you could cross all 4, if you were broad enough with your answers. Which one of these are we going to go with? Strange enough, I think the nihilist interpretation is the least evil of that in the Machiavellian. I think last night I went with Take Him Back. A nearby townstead has a new chief, and he's starting to flex his muscles. He sends an envoy with a threat Pay tribute or suffer his wrath. He clearly has the military strength to back it up. We're going to negotiate with the envoy, and we're going to escort him back. Concealed, our top fighters follow. In town, publicly execute the envoy, displaying his head on a spike. A child in the village has started showing symptoms of the plague. This is a very good example of the moral compass. The town chose to quarantine him and his family, but you caught him sneaking out of the house to play with other kids. What now? So the nihilist interpretation is just let him go. If he's contagious, we're all dead. If not, then whatever. Just don't care. Life has no meaning. The Machiavellian rally some neighbours and evict the entire family from the town, make an example of their carelessness. That's actually the option I went with last night. I might go with it again just to keep kind of dividing between the two. Utilitarian, send him back to the house under careful guard. The whole family will have to leave town if they continue to put everyone at risk, and the humanist is just return him home and explain to the family what will happen to the town. So you're trying to appeal to their better nature. Here, you're doing what's in the best interests of the majority. So you're sending him home, giving him another chance, but telling him he'll be kicked out with his family if he doesn't cop on. The Machiavellian is just run them out of town now, and the nihilist, yeah, whatever. So we've been captured by people who've clearly gone mad, finding yourself in a pen along with a Jew farmer you've met before, a mercenary stripped of his weapons, and a terrified young family. The captors assemble a massive pyre indicating their intent for a twisted sacrifice. Noticing a guard's distraction, you're certain that you can escape on your own, but every person you bring with you increases the chances you will get caught. So you can already imagine what way this is going to be. The humanist is going to take all of them. The utilitarian is probably going to focus on the family and maybe the Jew farmer. The Machiavellian will try and take the mercenary to help him, and the nihilist will try and escape on his own. And there we go. That's pretty much the way it all goes. The humanist wants to get the family out first. The other captives should be able to handle themselves. The utilitarian is going to try and get everyone out, saving as many as you can. So I might have actually gotten those slightly mixed up. We're going to go with... I think we're going to try and convince the merc. He's going to help us. The Jew farmer can likely make his way out on his own, but the family, well, they're just going to slow us down. And we can see here, I think, are the only active options that you can actually pick at the moment, or the active skills that you can get. So by answering the way we're answering at the moment, we're covering off the Machiavellian and the nihilist one. And we'll say if we were to go for a humanist option, if we were to go for a utilitarian option, you can see the way the red is moving, and it's moving towards utilitarianism. But it isn't taking us into that category just yet. So we've discovered a cache of pre-apocalypse supplies in an abandoned farmhouse. Can't carry it all back on your own, so you enlist a few friends to help. When you return to the cache, you find a group of emaciated scavengers in the process of looting for themselves. So again, the Machiavellian one here is cruel. Let them take the supplies, and then follow them and kill them and loot their camp. Do we let them take the supplies? No way. Threaten the scavengers, and if they don't hand over the supplies, kill them. So there we go. Where do we appear on the political graph that shows you authoritarian, liberal, whatever? Where do we appear on that? Nihilist, largely nihilist or nihilist, and a bit of Machiavellianism. We could take the quiz again. We will continue on. So this is going to show us the skills and attributes. And again, I'm not going to focus too much on this. Because what we're looking at mostly, like I said, was that morality system and how it's going to impact the game as we play today. Now, I did focus predominantly on these two categories the last time I played, so I might actually put some into charisma to see if it actually leads to a different game. Now, because we are the hired gun, we have an increase to our shooting mastery. So our shooting mastery is already at 21. You can see that the others are at 11. And that is our awareness and our resolve added together. So our temperance gives us our base level in all of these skills. Our fortitude, which is agility and strength, gives us our base in these skills. And then intelligence and charisma. So we have some that map almost directly to Dungeons and Dragons. And then we have some new ones. And then we have some new skills down here. So we have 10 points to spend. Let's say we'll bring that up to a 9 anyway. So that is going to It's going to affect punt points and persuasion checks. We're not going to probably be doing a huge amount with the punt points. We'll see about those now in a couple of moments. Do you know what? I have a feeling that intimidation is probably going to be important to us today. And you know what? We'll stick in a small bit of awareness as well to help us. And then, for our skills, the one that I'm really interested in seeing is Drunken Master. While being drunk, drink again to make 2 attacks on the nearest enemy. Gain a number of bonuses from consuming alcohol. So I like the idea of that one. That's obviously for a melee fighter. I don't know which of the 4 categories that we saw would fit into the melee fighter kind of area. So, as well as getting shooting mastery, we also have a bit of a bonus to opportunist for being a hired gun. So as somebody moves out of close combat range, we can basically make an attack against them, an opportunity attack, which you can't do just normally. So if you're in close combat with somebody and you move away, that's fine. Nothing happens unless they have this opportunist ability. Or I think this will increase the chance that you make an attack, is maybe the way I should have put it. And we have a throwing skill. We're going to put some into shooting mastery, and that I don't know what it actually does. So increases accuracy of ranged attacks, and we get a passive ability. So the character can equip ranged weapons and perform ranged attacks. Ranged attacks gain bonus damage. Okay, I'm going to put this probably into leadership. And you know what? We'll go up to this punt, but it doesn't really make a difference. So this is the ability to take a punt, and it's kind of like you basically get to make an attempt at skills that you don't have proficiency in, if that's maybe the way to put it. So you're going to make a Hail Mary pass. You're going to take a punt, take a kick at it, take a try. And so we have a Tinker skill, we have a Biology skill. We'll go for a bit of Deadeye, because we are a shooty person. So I'd say we'll just focus on those areas. And sure, Biology. And we start our journey. So there's a good old Aristotle quote to get us going. It is not always the same thing to be a good man and a good citizen.
You made it. Good. My name's Jake Anderson, and this here's Bally Hall.
So we have a bit of voice acting, and I'm going to continue, and the next phrase won't be voice acted, but some of them will be again. And this is Jake, and we're in Bally Hall. We can't really zoom out too much just yet. I don't think we can press M. We can, to bring up the map. So we're going to see this entire area quite shortly. And what he is going to do is he's going to tell us to meet all of these other people. He's going to introduce us to Ella. We have to take Cole to a nearby settlement. I don't know, we can't pan around. Down in the bottom left, there are 2 other people that we get to meet. One of them, Mishti, will be coming with us. And Mad is the younger sister of Ella, and she'll be staying here. And we're going to go on to a new area. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on the options in this game that will impact our moral compass. So there are a couple of decisions that we get to make based on our moral compass that will either make us double down on being a nihilist, or that will make us change to being a humanist or whatever. So I'm just going to focus on them. There's a lot of different dialogue, there's a lot of different characters that you can talk to. There's a couple of playthroughs online if you want to see the full thing, but I'm just going to focus on the basics. So we'll get to meet Ella.
So the job's simple, and the pay's good. You'll ride along to Kokobee with a couple of my scouts as security for Cole, the engineer fixing our radio. With Kokobee, you'll be meeting Mick, the mayor of Brookton, and escorting them both back home.
So there you go. That's pretty much what our main goal is going to be. So he's saying it's an easy job. Calls over Ella.
New blood, eh, Jake?
And again, we have some of the voice acting. The voice acting is great. Some of the dialogue is absolutely fantastic. I was in tears at some of this last night. It is so funny. So I'm really enjoying this. And really interested to see where this goes. I saw a video by Mortismal where he said that there's about 30 hours in the game. So I'm really interested to see where this is eventually going to go. So we're going to get out of here and go and meet Cole. So to move around, we can slowly WASD, and we left and right click to, well, we just left click to move. we can strum on the guitar. So we'll wander over here to Cole and introduce ourselves.
Who's this then?
Cole, meet your new protector. We need extra muscle for our trip to Brookton, given Jake and Jones here headed down Alderside way to see why they're so quiet. Hired this one on to keep an eye on you.
So he's delighted. That's fantastic. So I think he's coming to Kokeby to help with fixing the radio. The modulator's shot and I don't have a spare, so it's a good thing we're headed up there. Once I get that modulator, everything else is golden and you'll be right as rain. The Scouts don't have a working radio, so we're part of the Scouts. That's the group that we're a part of, and we offer, kind of by the looks of it, protection services. So, when do you want to head out? We'll say catch you later, Cole.
We'll have plenty of time to chat on the way to Kokeby.
Indeed we will. Now, I did say that you can't pet the cat, but you can do something to the camel, whatever causes that noise. Again, like I said, love the setting. You just see snakes wandering around the place. You'll just, as you're walking around, you'll see snakes slithering out in front of you. And one of the other places that we move to shortly, we're going to just see kangaroos. And I'll quickly take you through the party management, maybe. So here we can see our characters who are part of our gang, so their damage, their armor, all your basics really, and what their various different skills are. So we can see that Ella is Barther Crew, so that gives her a bonus in leadership. She also has good skills in shooting mastery. She has the sniper rifle. We have a slot for headgear, for body, for pants, for shoes. Very disappointing, no slot for underwear. It is very disappointing to see that people are already, or that games devs are already failing to learn the lessons of Baldur's Gate 3. If you don't have an underwear slot in your video game going forward, what's the point? What's the point? Meat. Could be emu, could be roo, could be one of your mates. It all tastes like chicken, and sometimes it's best not to ask questions. We have our moral compass, so this will actually tell us the decisions that we have made, which have impacted, and the degree to which they impacted our standing. So you can see this one swung, because it started way up here, and it swung 224 degrees around. Because we are here in this position, whatever that is, we don't have access to it. Whatever that is, we don't have access to it. Lone Wolf. This character gains +3 initiative if there are no allies within 8 units. This character gains +5 initiative when lonesome, but also reduces initiative by -3 when inspired. And we're missing out on this one because we're sliding a bit into Machiavellian. And we're sliding towards being a magnet? I don't know. So we could decide, we could try and push ourselves towards Machiavellian the way we would have these two, and maybe even these 3. Or we could try and push ourselves up in that direction, or we could double down on nihilism, so we could go and get that option. So that's how the moral compass pretty much works. We have our journal that's going to tell us all our stats, and then we have our map, which gets updated as we wander around the place. Right, let's go and talk to Mishti. So over in this section of the camp, we're going to meet Mishti. We're also going to meet Mad, and I forget who this is, but he's the guy that's going to help us do some shooting. So Mishti or Dreamer.
Fresh meat? For dinner? You know I gave up human flesh, Ella. Oh, I'm Mishti. They call me Dreamer.
Oh no, looks like me's back on the menu. Okay. You used to eat people? Never eaten human flesh? Well, yet. So we've a couple of different things that we can say to her. Pleased to meet you.
Anyway, my job here, such as it is, consists of 2 main gigs. What I do best is convince people to save their bullets. I diffuse fights, make sure people get along, keep their blood inside their skins. The other job, cleaning up this mess.
Now, we could say anything I can help with. All we'll say is, all fascinating, Ella was just showing me around, so... She says she could use a hand with a couple of things. So we'll get to the firing range, because we do have to do that.
This fellow was a bit of a legend in his own lunchbox. Now he's dead. Better to know up front if someone's aim is a bit shit. Corpses aren't so great at self-improvement.
That's very true. We've got time. What do you need? I'm going to say, what? I didn't sign up for manual labor. You did sign up for this, mate. We all work together to keep this place running, and we're not going anywhere till we get Dreamer sorted anyway, so there's no point whinging. What do you need, Mish? Turns around to survey the encampment. So we've been given some options. At the end of the demo, there's going to be a character that will give us a kind of a synopsis of how this all went, how this game went. And he will comment on the fact that if we do everything for her. Now, it's not really a big decision, but I was wondering if there was a different way to do things. We could lie and say that we finished everything. We'll say, gotta get back to it. We'll go and talk to this guy, first of all. We might lie to her.
Name's Jonesy, mate. Who are you?
I'm Mel Gibson. So, new gun for the good guys, eh? And he asks, did you ever use your weapon on a person before? Yeah, loads of times. Then why does Ella think I can teach anything to a hardened killer like you? But hell, maybe this'll be helpful.
So my advice is this. Time comes to throw down, don't blink. None of the Deros out in the bush would. It's them or you. I made the mistake of trying to be kind once.
Deros don't blink. Okay. Learning important things here. So, this is interesting. We have a choice. We can make a humanist option, and you can see how it's actually going to move us towards the humanist side of the compass. We can make a utilitarian decision. It's going to move us in the utilitarian direction, or we cannot answer, which will not move us from where we are at the moment, which is what I'll probably do. So, he's saying that when they've sunk that low, the only help from is hot lead. Hell, that's a good cure for just about anyone. So, hate to ruin the discussion, but I'm supposed to keep squiring our friend here around. You and Jake are headed back to Brockton. He's going to update the old man on the kill count. Kill count? Sure, if that's your thing. I don't really keep track.
It's not just about the killing, mind you. Though just between you and me, fuck the raiders, rustlers, and other arseholes shitting up the place. Let them piss in their boots when they hear my name.
Absolutely fantastic dialogue.
Don't let him fool you. Under that bloodthirsty exterior lurks, well, the heart of a killer. But under that, not a bad guy. Not if he's on your side. Well, unless you're a farmer. Then you should lock up your wife and daughters, livestock too.
Ugh. So he's like a layer cake of violence, basically.
Ah, you know me so well, Ellie. Except the livestock thing, no one can prove that.
Watch out for her, she's secretly not always mean. So we've met him, that's completed. I don't know if we have to do this target practice thing, I think we might have to. So he's gonna run away over there. And we end our dialogue, and we go into combat against some mannequins. So we're told about the optimal range. Different weapons are most effective depending on the distance from the target. Pistols and shotguns work close up, rifles from a medium distance, and sniper rifles better from a little further away. So we have a 29% chance to hit that mannequin, because we're fairly close to it. This one over here is 63, and this one is a 72, so we'll give a shot at it. He's become flanked. He's injured. You can see that we have spent 3 of our 4 action points. We've spent none of our movement points, and we have some skills and items that we could use. So we could apply bandages, we could sprint, we could intimidate. here is a skill that we have because of Barbican, which is one of the skills in the game. Shrug off damage like a brick shithouse. Take the time to line up your shot. That's leadership, and that then is vigilance. Now, not too sure is this telling us that we can kind of put them into different positions around the mouse or something. I'm not really too sure. But for now, we will simply end our turn. So I think that was a surprise round. The mannequins, they have no idea where we are. We will shoot this guy. It's a critical hit. And it's looking like if we move over here... So we had a 60-something% chance to hit this guy. It's now dropped to 50. I think because we're blocking ourselves. We'll take the shot anyway, but we didn't really have a great option. 33-81. And it was a critical instant kill. And we need to reload. So thankfully reloading only takes one movement or action point. So usually you'll be able to shoot and then reload. That's pretty much what you'll be able to do on your turn. Oof. Oh lord. It doesn't tell us our option anymore, or our hit chance. 72. There we go, that only took all day. Not bad, mate. Good to have you on board. Right. So we have a couple of different things to do. Let's see if we can lie to her. So the things are... Let's see if we can find them in the... Here's our side quest. Clear the scrub and refill the water in the bathtub. I'm going to refill the water. Because this is one of the rare occasions in which the narrator will make an appearance. So here's the bathtub.
There's only a small amount of grimy water left in the tub. Those camels are going to need something to drink, and soon.
We will fill the tub with fresh water.
You quickly fill the tub, providing clean drinking water for those noble beasts. You're already a real hero. What a hoot.
What a hoot. I love that. And I like the fact that it's not written there. It's almost like something that he added himself. The other one then is to remove this scrub for the camels, and then we're done with the job. Let's go and lie to her. Let's go and lie and tell her, yeah, we did everything. So let's talk about the jobs. We're going to lie. Yeah, I finished everything. Ella seems faintly disgusted. Still got some more work to do. So it looks like we actually have to do these decisions. Do you know what? We might have to do more work, but guess who we get to hear from again? Guess who we get to hear from again?
This scrub looks like it's invading the camel's enclosure, and they're having trouble resting without getting pricked. It wouldn't take you long to clear it out.
The way he rolls his oars is fantastic.
The job only takes a few minutes and the paddock is cleared. The scouts will no doubt be happy with your handiwork.
So, I'll very quickly say that narrator, the description of some of the stuff that that guy was saying. Let's wander up here and see if we can see. Entering a compost war era. To me, this looks like a grave, and it literally says RIP. However, if we click on it, nice of the scouts to have a place where you can go to let one rip. Just make sure you're unaccompanied. What I really want to see is an Australian translation of Baldur's Gate 3. All the characters speaking with Australian accents, obviously, but with the mannerisms of this game, and narrated by the guy who is narrating this. That is what I want to see. So how's the work treating you? Finished
That's
everything.
bloody fantastic! Great work, mate. I definitely owe you one. Remind me at the pub later on, would you?
Mishti's voice actor is going to do Karlak.
Here you go. You saved me a ton of trouble.
Just calling
Anything
everyone
else today?
mate. So we could ask a ton of questions. That's all for now. Bye-bye.
Later.
And we have gained... So we've gained some water. Now we don't need to worry about water or food in this game, but it's, again, like all good post-apocalyptic games, it's going to be a thing that you're going to have to be dealing with. Last thing that we pretty much need to do is talk to Mad, and Mad is going to send us around the outskirts of the camp.
Mad. New hired gun. Going to be coming with Mishti and me to Kokobee.
So she scowls from the makeshift turret. You babysitting Ella, or is she babysitting you? I'll keep an eye on her for you. Hope you do a better job than the last one. So the last guy seems to have been utterly useless. And they have a bit of a fight between them. We could say, what do you need? Yeah, let's say, nah, got other things to do. I sincerely doubt that. Get out there and secure my perimeter. Don't question her. She says she needs something checked. We're going to check it. So I don't think those interactions actually impact your standing with other members of the party. But I do believe your choices, which affect your moral standing, or your moral compass, they do impact your standing with different factions. I'm not too sure about your party. I don't think we're going to have a scenario where if we massacre all the tieflings in the Druid Grove, that Mishti is going to leave the party. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think there are options for that in the game, where you can actually drive people out of your party as a result of your options. But I think maybe your standing with them will go up and down. So just walk the fence. Too easy. So we've been given a big heap
That's
of
all we're gonna get
fences
out of her. Come on, let's go.
that we need to go and check. We'll probably see some rattlesnakes around the place. Oh, there he goes, the devil. So it's basically just a matter of moving around the outskirts of the camp until we are alerted to something. So Ella says to hold up. Small pile of dirt is next to a shallow hole. The last time I said it looks like raiders are trying to dig their way in, and she laughed hysterically at me and said it was only dingoes. Dingoes. So Ella has found something. The fence is falling apart. We shout in at Dreamer. And then we shout in at Med that we found all of the various broken parts of the fence. And that is pretty much all that we need to do. We can return back to the guy at the gate and tell him we're all ready to go. Anything else you need from Bally Bally? Nah, good luck out there. And that should be the end of the first part of the demo. So there's 4 parts to this. Now the second part is actually quite short, and it's pretty much just gives us an option to work on our moral compass a bit. So we're heading off with Cole and the party that we have put together.
Ho ho!
And Mishti has joined the party, and we travel on the road. The broken road. Press spacebar to center the camera. What kind of philosophical quote is this? I didn't actually see it there. What philosopher said
You're not
that?
even an hour away from Bally Bally Hall when you spot a makeshift cart on the road. A man lies motionless on the ground. A sobbing woman cradles his body.
Baby on board. So, I didn't spot this, so I can't actually zoom at the moment, but pretty much under this image there is a boy crying and wielding a gun. So we have the option to say, Dreamer, what do you think we should do? Or Ella, are you seeing this? I went with Dreamer last night, Mishti, because I had the feeling that she was the more kind of humanist, utilitarian, we need to help these people. Ella, I get the feel, is more the Machiavellian nihilist. So we'll ask her what she thinks. Tightens her grip on her weapon, scanning for threats.
The young man sitting off the side of the road is rocking back and forth, a pistol held unheeded in one hand. Neither he or his mum appear to have noticed you, lost in their own personal tragedy.
And now Mel Gibson is going to intrude.
Things could get dicey. Hang back while we check this out.
Imagine that. You're just in the middle of a scene like this and Mel Gibson appears
You got it, boss.
out of nowhere. So we will go and talk to the woman, first of all. He's a solid 7. Would have been an 8, but for the hole in his chest. Seems like he's a good listener, though, on account of being dead. Makeshift cart has seen better days. So, oh, we got some good options already. So this is available to us only because we are a nihilist. So I don't believe I had this option the last time I played, when I was, like I said, largely a Machiavellian utilitarian. There's no sense crying. He's dead.
Yeah. And what would you know?
I know he's dead.
What are you even doing here? Why now? Why not before he...
Hell's bells, the Machiavellian answer is quite grim. So if we take this Machiavellian answer, you can see it's going to shift us ever so slightly towards Machiavellian, which makes sense. Oh god, let's just double down on the evil answers. These are the answers that I would never, or the questions and the statements that I'd never be able to make in BG3. I think it was something like this is what I went with last night. You're lucky we didn't just shoot you and take your cart. Ella steps forward to stop Mel Gibson from saying anything else. So, my son, he shot Greg. Then he took the gun and he's a good boy. I can't lose him too. So he could say, screw it. We don't have time for this. It's going to just take us back in the direction that we came from. Why did he shoot him? She waits a moment, but the woman doesn't respond. Right, we'll go and have a chat with him then. So here is her son.
Stay back. I've got a gun.
Yeah, what type? Machiavellian. We can threaten him and say, yeah, so have I. And the humanist, hold out your empty hands. So you do have these options, even if you don't actually follow the tenets. Then again, yeah, that makes more sense, because if they only give you nihilist options, then you can never become anything else. So if we were to pick humanist, it would divert us a good chunk in that direction. We're obviously going to say, yeah, so have I. I was able to talk him out of this last night with my utilitarian and I think 1 or 2 humanist statements. Basically, because I don't know if we're going to end up killing him here or something, his father asked him to kill him because he felt that he was slowing down their travel to wherever they need to go. And you basically convinced the child, your mother needs you, your father wanted you both to survive, you need to continue on. Let's see just how bad we can make things. So he looks at the pistol in his hands, then the rifle on your back. Now, of course, we might be able to intimidate him out of this. I just killed a man. I could kill you too. Who was that man? Did he attack you? I've killed tons of people. I've killed more than you. If you wanted to kill me, you would have done it already. Why don't you put the gun down? You don't understand. I don't want to hurt you, but I will. He starts shaking from head to toe, like a sapling in a cyclone. Just stay away from me. So Mishti is our negotiator, is going to take a step forward. So let her take the lead. I've got this, Mishti. Let me talk to him. It's okay. You can trust her, so we say to the child, shoot him in the chest. This family's done for, and now he's threatening us. We have no time for this. The interesting thing about the game is that there are no good or bad outcomes. We've gone beyond good and evil. So like I said, I don't know if the groups are going to, if people will leave you. Let's see what Mishti's gonna do. Confusion blossoms on his face as the red stain on his chest appears and spreads. He falls to his knees, then topples sideways, landing face down in the dirt. Nice shot. Clean, painless. Ella's voice actress is gonna voice either Lae'zel or Mizora. No, not Mizora. Minthara in the Australian version of Baldur's Gate 3. 9 bullets left. He could have done some serious damage if you hadn't taken him out.
I'll take you alive and
Oops.
angry over dead and right anytime, Mish. Now, we taking his body back or leaving him here to rot?
I clicked too many options. Mishti is not happy, so we didn't get to see what Mishti's option was. I clicked twice on accident. You get his legs, I'll take his head. Take the body with you. He'll make a good meal for a dingo or two. Leave his body here. Jonesy is talking about his kill count. I'm going to demonstrate my kill count. You get the legs, I'll take his head. So Mishti storms off ahead. Not happy. She looks up at you and sees Ella carrying her son's body. No, she collapses onto her husband's chest, her high-pitched keening only slightly muffled by his shirt. She keeps rocking herself back and forth, her head on her husband's stomach. Ella looks down at the mourning woman impassively. We're done here. We most certainly are.
That was really shit, what you did back there. I could have talked him down. I know it. What's it gonna take for you to trust me?
He was waving that gun around like a kid at Christmas. He was gonna hurt someone, himself or one of us. This never would have happened if Jake had been here, so we can remain silent. Why can't I draw my weapon and shoot Mishti in the chest? That's unfair, and you know it, Mishti. Let's absolutely gaslight her. Get out of it, you fucking goody two-shoes. You'd eat her shit if she told you it was chocolate. Vivid.
What did I miss?
Not now, Cole. Not now. There we go, the man himself. I'm sure he'd have plenty of things to say about this scenario at the moment. So again, that was a really interesting, even just in the demo. It's been really interesting to see.
Now we've got Cole here. All we need to do is wait for Mick to arrive, then escort the two of them back to Brookton. He should be arriving any minute now. Any minute now?
It's been really interesting to see how different that outcome was, and how different the characters reacted to it. So Cole is going to go off to the thing.
Never a dull moment with Cole around.
So she's going to introduce us to Tina.
Oi, Tiny!
And there is Tina, who runs this place. So we have a burnt out police car. We have these eldritch, mutated monstrosities. This obviously cannot be a real animal. What kind of a thing is this? What kind of mad, bizarre mind would create such things? I won't go through it, because it doesn't actually impact the end scenario, where somebody is going to kind of give us a synopsis. I'll be really interested to see what they think of how we just handled that scenario there. They don't have anything to say on this scenario, from what I understand. Here's a trader. We can talk to him, and he will tell us that his friend is sick. and we can offer to take that friend with us to Brockton, which is the next place that we're going to. And while there's no actual outcome to it, it does have the best bit of dialogue I've heard in this game so far. This guy is absolutely delighted that you're going to help Sid, and Sid says to you, "I'd shake your hands, but I've had the runs for 2 weeks, and I don't want to tell you what I've been using for toilet paper." It is the best line of dialogue I've heard in this game so far.
Welcome to Kokovi, stranger.
So this is Tina, the effervescent teenager in an outdated conductor's uniform, salutes you neatly as you approach. "Tina, g'day. We're just here to pick up some parts for the radio, and then we're headed down to Brockton with Mick and Cole. Thought we'd say hi while we're here." So she has a bit of a pest problem. Tell me more about this pest problem.
Well, we hired a mercenary, Ian Mason, to help protect the town.
Yes. Ever since we hired him, he's been driving away business with that attitude of his. So I told you this guy had the best line of dialogue. We're about to hear a contender for the best line of dialogue in a couple of moments. The problem is he won't get lost. Claims we have a contract. She gives him the finger and keeps it up as he lazily extends his arm to do the same.
I want you to convince him to move on. Go terrorize someone else. And to stop being such a fucking crybaby.
Wah, wah, I'm a little girl and my big brother's not here. Wah.
Wait for it.
Go sit on a rusty spike and rotate, you old filthy bastard.
Absolutely brilliant.
So yeah, I want him gone, thanks.
I'll take care of Ian Mason now.
Looking forward to your problem-solving capacities.
I killed this man last night. I ended up killing him. I went down the utilitarian approach, and it didn't work. So there's a couple of traders here. There's no need to actually do any trade at this stage. I don't know if water consumption or food consumption is even a thing. This guy is interesting.
Friend, welcome to Kokobi and the energy source of the future. See anything you like?
I like you. No. So we ask him about what's so special about solar panels. I can tell you're new to the energy game. These guys don't give a rat's ass about keeping informed, but me, I know my worth. So he's talking basically about his solar panels. What's special about solar? It's the gentleman's energy source, he says with a wink. So we're going to ask him for a discount on the solar panels, because they cost $2,000. I have $125. A discount? Mate, you've got to be pulling my leg. Do you have any idea how hard it was to clean these bastards up, haul them halfways across the country, and keep all the sand and shit from getting in? A discount? I'd sooner be caught with my pants around my ankles when the dunny walls fall in. A discount. Come on, Jerry. Jezza, J-Money. I really want that discount. You've been in the sun too long, mate. It's Gerald with a G. J-Money's got a nice ring to it, though. Aww. So we can barter for goods. And there you go. Like I said, $2,000 for a solar panel. It's the gentleman's energy source, though. Ah, well. Looks like we're not getting any.
A discount? Thanks for the laugh, mate. I needed that.
Okay. Got some bathtubs, and we have here Ian Mason and his spooky looking buddy and another buddy. So if this turns sour, we're going to be fighting. When this turns sour,
I'm busy. What do you want, kid? Looking for a real man to show you how to use a gun?
I'm not a kid, I just shot a kid, which means that I absorbed his powers. Oh wait, no, that means I am a kid. Tina wants you to move on, mate. What's your deal? Ever thought about joining up with the scouts? Need a hand? Tina wants you to move on. So he doesn't care. She hired me and I've kept my end of the bargain, protecting Kokobi. It's gonna take more than you and your two little nursemaids to change my mind. You mean these highly trained, deadly scouts? I can go get more if you think that'll make it a fair fight. Look, you don't want to die for these people, and I don't want to have to kill you over it. Just walk away. So if we were to take that Machiavellian option, you're seeing that it's potentially bringing us towards whatever that little red dot there is, but it's going to move us away from this purple one. Again, these are skills that we don't really have at the moment. Let's double down with the all nihilism. Yeah, he growls. Think you can take me, do you? I have a contract. A merc's word is his worth. I go back on that. I'll never work again. This is obviously Raphael. How about we settle this the old-fashioned way? Give him $100. I'm tired of this. So we could attack him or cut the crap. How much will it cost to make you disappear? I did actually have an option, which I failed last night, which led to combat. And again, that's because I was predominantly utilitarian and Machiavellian. Now, because we've gone down the nihilist route, we have pretty much kind of started gearing ourselves towards attacking quite a lot. Let's see what this option does. Only way I'm leaving is if you pay my contract. Okay, so we have some more options. How about the cost of a few bullets instead? Attack. Last chance, walk away or I'll kill you. Utilitarian, here's my offer. If you leave now, I won't tell the scouts and everyone we can get on the radio that you are an incompetent asshole. Go on, look. Last chance, walk away now,
Big
or I'll
words,
kill you.
little boy. Time to live up to 'em.
Okay. In dialogue. I would actually have liked for this not to have turned into combat, just to see what would have actually happened. Again, with that little synopsis at the end. So we now have a much larger party to deal with. We have here a sniper, 75% chance to hit, 78% chance to hit. So do you know what? He's just shot though. And if we could take this guy out before he moves... Oh well, that's not going to happen. And you'll see I move away. There's no automatic attack of opportunity. And I don't have a second shot. So again, this is a bit closer range. 66 to 69. Nice. How can you say no to a 69? Come on. And where can I get him to? We'll get him to over there. So that's an 83, 70... so she has a pistol. And that must be some sort of a skill that he has. So I'm not too sure what it actually was, and I'm not seeing a kind of a combat log anywhere. Oh, she does actually have a second hit. Didn't realize that, I don't think, until now. So I think this guy is mostly melee by the looks of it. Oof. The combat can kind of slow down a bit as you keep missing. Does she need to reload? I believe so. Now, ammunition is unlimited, so you never actually have to find ammunition. You just constantly have it. Now it's going to cost an action point to switch to the melee weapon. And I'm not too sure we're actually still in a position to attack him. We are. And we need to reload and miss. Oh, he's fleeing. And she missed on an opportunity attack. Mishti's gotten back up. He had it coming. One less asshole in the wastelands. A good day's work. Looks at Mishti with raised eyebrows, but says nothing. Mishti, you did nothing. You went down very quickly.
G'day! What can I do for you?
I took care of that merc for you. Yeah. I saw. She stares at his body, tapping her whistle against her thigh, then shrugs. I hope he didn't have any friends who'll come looking for him. I mean, I doubt it. The guy was the bell end and end all of assholes. But still, dags clump together. Still, you did what I asked, and that counts for a lot. Plus, I'll never have to listen to him snoring through the midnight watch again. So we've gained some XP. Finally, I feel like the place is on the up and up. Thanks again, friend. She holds out her hand to shake yours. We'll give her a high five this time. I gave her a low five the last time.
No backsies. That means we're mates now.
So I think it's the same outcome. So, any idea when Mick's going to arrive? So Mick is who is going to take us to Brockton. We're going to escort him to Brockton. Don't forget, he's the one paying us today. And I think if we say bye, right on time, if by that you mean half a day late.
Hello there, Tina. Lovely as the day is long, as always.
Oh,
We
Mick.
would have been here sooner, but, well, let's just say it's been an eventful day.
Had some excitement in the morning, had to deal with some diplomacy after that. Not a bad day's work, if I say so myself. I suppose introductions are in order. I'm Mick Jones, and this is Jess Brown, runs Brockton's Barther crew when I'm needed elsewhere. So, you're a new face in the crowd? You into forging alliances, or do you prefer to rough it alone? I team up with others when they suit my purposes. As long as I have a good time in the here and now, I'm easy. I had my fun, and that's all that matters. He frowns. A guy's gotta have an end goal, otherwise you may as well be pissing in the wind. This the quality of recruit you're accepting these days, he says to Ella. So we took care of Tina's pest problem, and we're free to go. Scouts, free. So we can go and talk to him, and that will start us on our merry way to Brockton. So Tina is making some jokes with him, and we will head to Brockton. When men speak ill of thee, live so as nobody may believe them. I think there's going to be a lot of people saying bad things about Mel Gibson in this game from the way we've acted so far. So it's getting late, but here we are. Have a look around, introduce yourself to the locals. Never hurt to know who you're dealing with, especially if you're planning on heading out this way very often. So, thanks, I will.
Let's go!
So here we are, wandering around Brockton. What I did the last time was I went in the opposite direction. I went northwards. And kind of ended up in the middle of nowhere. So they just want us to basically speak to a few locals. Here I think is Jonesy. Is it from our starting camp? No, it's not. It's Bruce Harris. Oh my god, how could I mistake Bruce Harris and Jonesy? G'day, new around here? How you going, buddy? Let's see what you have for sale. So he has radio parts, mushrooms, fruit, barley. Get this good shit in you. The complete package of fiber, carbs, and possibly even 1 or 2 vitamins and minerals. So a small water bottle, large water bottle. A bottle filled with this much water is hard to come by. Yarn with long distance. Mates, why eat roo when you can eat mushrooms? Okay. So we'll ask him where he came from. And we'll say bye. Oh no! It's Saza the Goblin. They have her in a cage. Dead Ringer. Hey! Hey, 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 hey. Strong fella. Muscly man, striding Adonis, dispenser of justice and mercy. Get me out of this cage. I mean, come on, somebody calls me a striding Adonis, absolutely. What will you give me to let you out? I'm pretty sure you must be in there for a reason. Why should I help you? Who put you there? What will you do if I free you? Yeah, what will you give me? Extortion's a dangerous game, friend. I'll tell you a secret. Or I'll fight you. Dealer's choice. What'll it be? Tell me a secret. No key, no nookie. You gotta give love to get some. I feel very confused about what I agreed to. There, you see, like I said, oh no! So basically a man has just offered me nookie and I've been distracted by a cat. Where? Okay, so... Side quests. Lordship and bondage. I agreed to set Deadringer free in exchange for a secret. So we have to get the key from Mick. Okay. So this is not a scenario that I played out the last time, because you only speak to a handful of people, and you only need to speak to a handful of people to activate the kind of the end game. Distract him and steal the key. Just as you think you've got it, his hand wraps around yours, crushing your fingers against the hard edges of the key. Well now, been talking to Deadringer, have we? And without even trying to make your argument first, whatever you have to say for yourself is going to need to be pretty bloody spectacular. So we have a humanist option. He's a human, not an animal. Well, I don't know about that. At least give him access to proper amenities. Look at it this way. Let him go now, and next time you cross paths, you can just shoot him. It'll give you something to look forward to. Justice is a construct made up to keep lesser minds in line. You and I are both too old for fairy tales. I like both of those options. One of them moves you ever so slightly more towards being a nihilist. I do like this first one though. If you let him go now, you can just shoot him the next time. You caught a bit too much of the sun yourself, I reckon, mate. I'm going to keep him locked up. Not that I don't appreciate you fighting on the side of the underdog, or whatever it is you think you're doing. He doesn't deserve your pity, I can tell you that much. Oh no. You have a pleasant evening now. Now, I don't know, was an actual check made there? I'm not really too sure, was that scripted? Or how that worked? Let's go back and tell poor Saza that we can't help them escape. Come back to help, or come back to stare? Bye. I don't think we can do much for him. Can I help you? Who are you? Sarah Taylor. My husband and son run the farm outside of town. So I think another character will tell us that Taylor's farm was raided recently. Who are those bandages for? Whoever needs them. Need anything? A full surgical suit. For real though, distilled water is always in high demand. There's another cat, a different cat. Well, there's Cole. Are you all good with what happened back in Kokebe? Right, you murdered a dude. Yeah, look, he was being a real dick to Teen. It's a shame he was such an asshole that you had to tear him a new one, but if it means she's safe, it's all good. I didn't murder anyone, I gave him options. Not great options, but I gave him options. Deflated football. The football is slightly soft, having received a few too many punts. Across the lawn, it's been lying in the sun for quite some time, the upper portion blazing hot, the underside cool and clammy. I wonder how this is going to turn into. I wonder what the Machiavellian and nihilist options for throwing a football back to some kids are. There is no football. Peg it hard. Oh my god, there is a nihilist option. Put the ball in your backpack while whistling Waltzing Matilda. That's too cruel. That's too cruel. Even for a man who's killed a kid. And an asshole. That's too cruel. We will... Yeah, we'll kick it back to them. So 25 of 30 roll punt. 10 punt remaining. We've 10 pounds. Sure. We're going to put everything in here. So we only had 25 and we required 30. So we can use 5 of the punt that we have to bring that up to a 30. We will confirm. Pass. I like the little hand clench. Nice. Yes. Your perfect kick bounces the football off the side of the schoolhouse before it rolls to a stop at Mel's feet. You can see her grin from here. Great name, kid. Great name. Even my dad couldn't do better. Tag, you're it. Cries. Man's greatest fear is the unknown. Crow's greatest fear is the cat. New in town, it's always a pleasure to see a fresh face. I hope you might stay a while. Who are you? So this is Jess's mum. So Jess is the woman that was with Mick at Kokeby, that came with us to Brockton. We didn't get to see much of her in this playthrough.
Right. That's enough socializing for one day.
So we have met... We've met the requisite amount of people. You Cadbury. That is a new one on me. I have no idea what that means. It's good to know your limits. Let's head back to Ballybally. Sun's about to set. I was hoping we could hit the pub. Check in on Jake and Jonesy. Mishty fidgets and looks away.
Mick will grill the new kid on how the day went down. Let's handle that part first, yeah?
Uh-oh. Would you go back to Mick, who we tried to steal a key from to release Sazza the Goblin, and it didn't go well. Is the name of the bar the Broken Arms? That is fantastic if it is. I don't think I noticed that. And I'm actually sure there's definitely one more person that we didn't get to. There was a guy up here in the tower. And he'd tell us that Taylor's farm just outside had been raided and that some sheep had been stolen. So there's a couple more things, and I played through this last night, and we started here, and I went up this way, and I met that person first of all that we just spoke to, and then the guy over here, and I can't remember who the other person was. But I think once we had 3 of them met, I was walking down this way, so I missed everything down around this end of the map. Meet the locals then. You look like you've been through the ringer, new kid. Time for a beer. Each person's paying for themselves, of course. James Wakefield. Excuse me, I just need a moment of your time. The speaker is a tall, broad-shouldered man, well-groomed with a gold necklace and gold bracelet, glinting in the sun. Despite his size, he moves with a fluid grace. He reminds you of nothing so much as a big cat. Attractive, smiling, and dangerous as hell. Oh, those cats. That's cats for you. Who the hell are you? He stares at you coolly. My business is not with you. Spit it out then, says Mick. All the humour is gone from him. Like he senses a threat. He's alert and focused, his eyes never leaving the giant cat, newcomer. So my name is James Wakefield. I am glad to have met you, Mr. Jones, as I come bearing a proposition for you and your people. Let me be plain. I come from a powerful community to the east. We're rebuilding civilization, and we'd like to invite Brockton to be part of that effort. Join us, and we can end the age of grubbing through the relics of the past. Join us, and we can usher in a new age of miracles. So his eyes narrow, Mick's eyes narrow. You want me to bow and scrape to somebody who's never even looked our way before, who never had the good grace to come and say hello himself. Civilization, what a joke. Civilization caused all this. Exactly, says Mick. I I didn't piss him off last night, but I made him... My interactions here upset him and made this Wakefield character agree with me. So I get the feeling that Wakefield is a kind of a... He comes from a utilitarian or humanist place. And I've heard it said that this game is basically how the different factions interact with each other and how they combat each other and relate to each other. And you're going from faction to faction to faction. So I imagine there's a faction probably for each of the rungs on this moral compass, if that makes any sense. So obviously the assassins from Assassin's Creed, the Machiavellians, the nihilists from The Big Lebowski, and then maybe Wakefield is in one of these two groups at the top. We've got nothing, but your word to go on. Show us some of these miracles. Mr. Jones, I was sent merely to make the offer. I'm a messenger, not a diplomat. If it's pretty words you're after, you're not the man I thought you were. Well, Mr. Not a Diplomat, why don't you piss off back home and tell your overlords that if they want us kissing their boots, they're going to have to prove those boots are worth the tongue. Till then, the answer is a hard no. So I must ask one more time. We can offer your people many things. Food, water, protection, freedom from want or care, the future in its limitless possibilities, rather than scratching out a living on the edge of darkness. So he said no, or weren't you listening? What kind of guarantees are you offering? Maybe we like the darkness. The only way anyone's free from want or care is if they're dead. And what's the cost of that protection? Absolute obedience? You're not the first to try that one on, mate. Or remain silent, which is always an option, and let somebody else do the talking. What would be the kind of nihilist Machiavellian... The Machiavellian would be probably what are the guarantees that you're offering. This is the decision that I've put the most thought into all this game so far. I killed a child in cold blood fairly quickly, and now it's like, how do we answer the big scary cat? He said no, or weren't you listening? Hard no. Piss off, Wakefield. No means no, now bugger off. Who are you? Where did you come from? I'm simply the bearer of good news from lands to the east. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't know why we're taking him seriously. Join his mysterious far-off community so we can, I don't know, drive cars again? Mutton chops. Been out in the sun too long, I reckon. Piss off, mate. No need to be rude. Good evening to you all. And don't you worry, guys, we will never hear from him again. So Ella says that they'll get the radio up and running just in case they do see Wakefield again. So he's going to need a beer or 5 after that. And I just stayed standing there like a fool because I thought, oh, something's going to happen. But no.
Been a hell of a day, yeah? Gotta head back and spell mad. She'll have gotten pissy sitting up in that nest by a lonesome for hours.
So Dreamer nods, not giving her full attention.
I was actually planning to head to the pub. Like you said, it's been a hell of a day.
Pub o'clock. I'm parched. So Ella, and this is one of the reasons why I was thinking she was kind of a Machiavellian, is because the way it's described in the game is that her main concern is the group. So here she's very much like, if you have a knight in the arms, you're taking the truck, can't walk all the ways back home, but it's kind of, she'd rather that we didn't go in. A bit of a hike to Ballybally. What's a drink or two? Not like there's many cars on the roads these days. Absolutely, yeah. Ever seen what a car can do to a roo? Or what a roo can do to a car? Only assholes drink and drive. Right, let's pack it in. We've got a free ride home. And like I said, Mad'll be getting pissy about being left out of all the action. To be fair, I thought today would be less eventful. But yeah, time to go. And so Dreamer's like, look, you're not my mum. I'm going to the pub. Tonight, I choose pub. Today I chose violence, tonight Mishti chooses pub.
You're the one who let that boy at Key Road die. Everyone fucking ignored my advice. And now you want an opinion on how I unwind?
I'm trying to think what the other dialogue option is. I think it's something along the lines of, we saved a kid's life today. Not the other dialogue option, but the other way that this can go. We saved a kid's life today. That's something worth celebrating. Now it's worth having a drink
straight
over.
Up slaughtered that asshole at Kokobi. Sure, he was a prick of the highest order, but if that's a death sentence, then half the country better be on guard. I need a fucking drink. Alright?
Half the country had better be on guard, because I am a striding Adonis. I am a muscly man that will bring justice. So I think she looks to us for support. If you're going to defend the town, drinking's a bad idea. Dulls your reflexes. You're absolutely right. Just don't drink too much. Or do whatever you like. I'm not your keeper. And Ella says, don't encourage her. Brookton's got him handled, Mishti. They don't need our guns here. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing could possibly go wrong. So Jonesy has offered her a beer. And, you're pulling my leg. Jonesy... Kid, I've got stories about Jonesy that'll curl your pubes, assuming you've got any. So we will say, why? It doesn't really matter. Enjoy it while you can. Life is meaningless. And Ella is asking why I'm even still involved in this conversation.
Dreamer, I'm gone. I'd say don't do anything I wouldn't, but you're already way past that point if you're keen on a dickhead like Henry. I'll tell Matt you're drinking her beer.
I'm still involved in this conversation because there's nihilist options to take. Look at that. Look at how far down the route of nihilism we've gone. Pub o'clock it is. It's always pub o'clock. Getting a lot of Machiavelli quotes today. Maybe it's just because there's a lot of Machiavelli quotes in the game. So here we are. This is basically where it's going to end. We're never going to see the outside of this world ever again. There's a couple of people here. We don't really talk to them. They just tell us various different things.
It was a shame things went the way they did in Kokobi. But I'm happy to know you had Ella and Mishti's backs.
So that's the guy at the very start of the level. Beer, $2. Merlot, sold out. Peace and love. Hope for the future, sold out. Oh no, ooh. So there is somebody more interested in Jake. I didn't actually speak to the
What can I get you?
barkeeper the last time.
First drink's free, if you promise to buy 3 more.
That's a good deal. Is that a binding legal agreement? Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely.
Bottoms up. Mick's hanging out for a yarn with you. Just a heads up.
So there you go. So Mick is basically now going to give us a synopsis of how we performed. So he's listening to Mishti's enthusiastic recount of the... Oh no, Mishti shouldn't be the one to tell him. Oh no. Sally said you wanted to talk to me about the guy in the cage. Yeah, we should have probably asked him first of all. You got a key to the cage? Pony up. No, I don't think we can't leave anyway, so it doesn't make an ounce of a difference. Oh no.
Attaboy.
So they've all departed.
Let's get down to brass tacks.
It's a long enough walk from Kokobi. Had time to hear about a few of your exploits from Our Lady of No Bullshit. Reckon you'd be interested in my take on things? Sure, why not?
Well then, here we go.
You're a bit on the slippery side, I have to say. Not that there's no place in the world for different points of view, I just take issue with the ones that affect me in ways I can't foresee. You're a hard worker, I'll give you that, but you're too quick to step in where you should be asking questions first. Mishti's a charmer, all right, but she got you good, getting you to do all that work for her. She's not going to learn that way, so that's that option that I was talking about there at the start, but I don't see there being any other way out of that. If somebody spots a way to get out of that, I'd be interested, because it kind of seemed like we were forced into that line of work.
As for that merc up in Kokebe,
Yes. Deadeye Mason was a bully and an embarrassment, but we don't kill people for that around here, not since I became mayor anyway. And that's not even getting into what happened at Key Road. He watches you, waiting for your reaction. Go on. The boy's dead. I don't have much hope for Mum either. I'll send out some people tomorrow, but it's a bloody shame is what it is.
now, tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong. Alright, Sunshine, you got anything to back that up with? No, I just wanted to feel smart for a change. I knew Mishti was conning me, but I decided to play along anyway. I only did what Mad said, because she looked like she could split me in half. So Mad has told us to go around the outskirts of the camp. You didn't see the way the kid was waving that gun around. It was only a matter of time before he hurt someone. He'd already hurt someone. I wasn't questioning your integrity, merely making an observation.
The sound of hail reaches your ears a moment before Sean burst into the pub, screams and cloying smoke trailing in his wake.
I love the way he rolls the oars. In some of the words he says, we didn't actually get to meet Shan, but he's a character wandering around the outside.
Get out here, we're under attack!
What? That's unexpected.
Bloody mongrels! Let's show them what it means to tangle with Brookton.
So Sally
Let's rock.
grabs her rifle and says, let's rock. And Jean-Paul Sartre makes
as far as your
an appearance.
story goes right now, you've already made your mark on this sunburned land, staining the red dust redder with blood. Again and again. Despite the many paths in front of us, we can only ever walk our own. What tale will your choices tell at the end of your journey down these broken roads?
He mentioned the name of the game again! So we saw there in that little bit of a video, the mother crying over two graves. In the video, the little thing that played at the end of my last playthrough, the kid and the mother were there kind of waving to the camera, having maybe indicating that they were going to survive and they were going to get to where they needed to go. And I think his dialogue was changed ever so slightly by the fact that we killed the kid and we killed Ian Mason. So the way he says staining the ground, staining it red with blood over and over and over again. So we constantly picked violence. And that's what I really like about this game, is that it shows you the impact that you've had in the world through your options, through your choices, and through the kind of the philosophical direction that you take. So I'm really excited for this. I find the combat a bit of a slog. I didn't go down through the inventory enough, but if you click on the weapons, it's just pistol, rifle, sniper rifle. That's it. There's no kind of... It's not Baldur's Gate 3 level of, this gives you a +2 to this skill, and this gives you a +10, but will also make you explode. This one will deal additional fire damage. This one will deal additional cold damage. It's not that advanced. You're not picking up ammunition. The main draw for this is the philosophical choices that you make and the impact that your character has on the world, and you could argue the impact that the world has on your character, because at times you're given dialogue options and you might feel, no, I can't go with the Machiavellian one, I can't go with the nihilist one, that's what I started off with, but I can't. And all of a sudden you're changing and becoming more of a utilitarian type player or more of a humanist. So there you go, that was a look at Broken Roads. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. When it comes out, we're hoping that it's going to come out sometime this year, not too sure. There's a Discord where they'll put up news as things happen. It's kind of gone quiet now with the last while. The demo has actually been up since the middle of last year, I think. But I'm only discovering this now. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing this. What I want to know is, what type of a playthrough would you do? Where do you think you would fall on that morality compass? Where do you think you would fall? I think I would veer towards utilitarianism with a bit of Machiavellianism. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I will see you on these broken roads.